Welcome to another week of I Hate Fantasy Football.
Yes, I truly do hate fantasy football. We are here for another week. No crazy MFJR this week as he is on vacation. So I am your captain speaking. And we're going to do a very quick episode with a focus only on our rankings this week. Jordan, what do you got for us in your rankings?
Guys, what a week it has been. Upsets do happen. Trump beat Hillary, Tom beat Kevin, and Darren's in last place. Guys, I am live in Montreal, Canada, but don't worry, I will be back in the great state of Texas this weekend. But let's get right into our Week 10 rankings. All right, should be no surprise. Josh is now on a 5-game win streak, and he's got full control of his division. Josh has mortgaged next season, though, in order to win this year, and he's now given up a second and fourth round pick in 2017. But doing so, he's made his team very strong. Since his original roster, he's added A.J. Green, Le'Veon Bell, and Alshon Jeffrey. Now this week, it's first versus worst as he goes up against Darren, and he tries to make that streak 6. Now, number 2 comes as a big surprise to me, obviously. Now, Dak Prescott was a strong replacement for Tom Brady in the bye week as Power and Glory put up the second highest score of their season. Now, this week, Power and Glory goes up against Dodger Dogs in a rematch of Week 2 that had Kevin winning 129 to 111. In the past few weeks, Power and Glory has now added Devonta Freeman, Latavius Murray, Kelvin Benjamin, and brought back Jordan Reed as he looks to regain his championship. All right, number 3. For the first time this season, Kevin has now dropped out of the top 2 in the power rankings. Kevin lost to Tom this week when only his QB and kicker scored over 12 points. Carlos Hyde and Larry Fitzgerald are still suffering from injury going into Week 10, but Greg Olsen is still the number 1 tight end in all of fantasy. Now, with Darren Sproles, Devontae Booker, and Carlos Hyde still suffering from injury, Kevin could use one more running back to pair with DeMarco Murray, who has been a top running back all season long. Number 4. Now, Keitel put up the week's top score on the back of Matt Ryan, Mark Ingram, Julio Jones, and Mike Wallace. LaShawn McCoy is back in the lineup after a few weeks of injuries. Now, despite being 3 games behind the division leader, Keitel can still make a run for the playoffs over the next few weeks. Even if Matt Ryan falls off, though, the Dragon Pirates saw Russell Wilson come back to form in Week 9. All right, despite adding Todd Gurley and Brandon Marshall this week, Gus couldn't win in the rematch from Week 1. Aaron Rodgers, Matt Forte, and Jordy Nelson and Kenny Britt all put up double-digit points, but nobody else on the team put up over 8 points. Marshall, Crabtree, and Gary Barnidge all put up under 5. Now, the Denver defense, who's looked pretty good this season, they scored 0 points. All right, Lisa was on edge this Monday during the game as Darren started to make a comeback. Lisa's made some great waiver wire pickups in the last few weeks with Marcus Mariota, Tim Hightower, and the Chargers D. They really helped her get the win this week. Now, Lisa and Gus, they're both 5-4, and they're only 1 game back in their division. And they're also only a few points away as well. It's still anyone's game in that division. Now, okay, Jeff is on a 3-game losing streak, and he may need to start looking forward to next season. The addition of Drew Brees paid off as he outscored Cam Newton 30.7 to 16.6. Derrick Henry got injured in pregame, and Dez Bryant could not connect with Dak Prescott. So Doug Martin and Tevin Coleman are still struggling with injuries. Jeff is in need of a few running backs who could help him finish the season on a positive note. Guys, at this point in the rankings, I really just have to throw my hands up and put these last 3 teams all tied for 10th place. So, 10A. Darren has looked good in the last few weeks. In the first 6 weeks of the season, Darren averaged 107 points. In the last 3 weeks, and after trading away the majority of his good players, he has averaged 126 points. The problem is Darren only has 2 wins, and he's in last place in the standings. The silver lining that is that Darren has a few good keeper options and a few extra early round picks for next season. 10B. Barber is now squarely looking at 2017 after trading away Alshon Jeffrey, Le'Veon Bell, Latavius Murray, and Kelvin Benjamin. Barber now has David Johnson and Dak Prescott as late round keepers next year, and he's hoping to build upon that and Josh's second round pick to anchor his team in 2017. Finally, 10C. Tom gets his third win of the season by knocking off Kevin in a match that came down to Monday night's game. Jay Ajayi has been helping out the team over the last few weeks, but Tom has traded him to Lisa for what we can only conclude is a 7th round pick and some to be determined terms later. Guys, those are the rankings. I will see you next week.
Last place, tied with those two goons. Last place, you got. I guess the top looked fine. Whatever. See you next time.